For today's video, I'm deciding to do something a little different. This person asked not to share his real names, so for the sake of his protection, he wants to be known as Anonymous2347. Anonymous2347 shared a story with me 2 weeks ago and stated that this happened to him and his friend shortly after gorillatag's release. I will be reading this story in their perspective so you can experience what they did as much as possible. I will also be using the names they gave me in place of their real names in the story by request. September 13th, 2021. My parents left for a business trip and gave me permission to invite a friend over for the time that they were gone. My friend Zach and I, Joey, being the 14-year-olds we were at the time, decided it would be a good idea to have a sleepover. I live out in the country, eastern Iowa, so most of what you see is fields and fields of crops and land, nothing exciting. That also means that everyone is spread far apart. Me and Zach go to the same school but live 32 minutes away from each other, so sleepovers is a normal thing for us. We decided we wanted to pull an all-nighter and experience gorillatag past midnight. Gorillatag didn't have the huge player base back then like it does today, and gorillatag ghosts weren't much of a thing yet either. But even then, we wanted to see what we could find, server hopping over and over until something creepy came up. After an hour or so of entering in random codes and messing around, we would run into a person or two in private rooms, nothing too out of the ordinary. That was until we entered code QWE12. We probably entered 100 codes before this one and ran into people once every 20 codes. We joined, and the computer said 3 people. Me and Zach looked around and found nothing. The color of the gorilla was pitch black and had the name Here. We searched every last bit of the map, and Here was nowhere to be seen. Me, being the idiot 14-year-old at the time, started mixing up the best cuss word sentences I could come up with at an attempt to piss off the pitch black gorilla Here and get him out of his hiding hole. 4 minutes go by and nothing happened. We waited and waited and waited. Nothing but silence. What felt like an eternity of waiting, Here ended up leaving the lobby. Zach and I looking at each other, in-game and in real life, confused but also a little spooked. It was 3 a.m. at this time, and our all-nighter we were doing ended up coming to an end. We got off gorillatag and watched YouTube in the living room until we ended up falling asleep. I woke up on the couch to Zach grabbing my shoulders, shaking me awake, telling me to get up as someone rang the doorbell. I checked my phone and the time read 4:06 a.m. A ring at the doorbell at 4 in the morning while also being in the middle of nowhere? Zach and I crawled on the floor under the windows so we weren't seen. We peeked our heads up just enough so our eyes could see the front. Nothing. Nothing to be seen but a few trees and an empty field. No cars in the driveway, nothing at all. Emptiness and moonlight. Being the tough 14-year-olds, we opened the front door after seeing nothing and found a note on the ground. A small 2x2 inch note folded in the worst way imaginable. We unfolded the note and saw very small writing in red. It was dark, so we couldn't see what it said. We went into the kitchen, turned on the light, and what we saw sent chills down our spines. Red writing that said, "I'm here." Me and Zach were confused, but remembered the random pitch black gorilla from the random lobby. His name was Here, Zach said. We looked at the note and noticed an arrow pointing to the back. We turned it around and it said EWQ21. Zach and I knew immediately it was a private code for gorillatag. Zach was terrified and I was too. I'd be lying if I said we didn't cry at all, but we did. A lot. The time now read 4:30 a.m. We should be tired, but we weren't. Not after this. We debated and debated on whether or not to join the code, but knew we had to. We loaded into gorillatag, typed in the code, and joined at the same time. "No one is here?" Zach said nervously. "Dude, what the hell is going on? Did we enter in the code right?" I said. We waited in forest, looked around to see if we could spot anything. We didn't hear anyone join, but felt as if we were being watched. Zach nearly yelled, saying, "Joey, look." The pitch black gorilla was back, but had a different name. The new name said, "Upstairs." Me and Zach immediately took off our headsets, dropped them on the floor, and ran out of the house. We ran far out and looked back. My bedroom window's curtains were open, and what we saw has been embedded into my head since it happened. A tall, dark figure standing in the window. We screamed and ran, crying and running as fast as we could to my neighbor's house. 2 miles later, we got there. My phone read 5:14 a.m. We rung my neighbor's doorbell for what seemed like forever. When the door opened, we pushed ourselves in, crying while also trying to get words out of our mouths, trying to explain to our neighbor what happened. We called the cops, explained what happened, and together we went back. 6 policemen searched the entire house. They came out and told us our upstairs bathroom window was shattered and found rope with duct tape in my bedroom closet. Me and my friend broke down in tears, thankful we left that night. Since then, my parents have never left me alone, and I never get on gorillatag private lobbies anymore. Zach ended up moving a few states away because his parents were scared of what happened, and to this day, we still don't know how any of what happened.